Yeah, Shalom, giving all praise unto Yahbashim, Shabashim, Kodash, double honors unto the apostles, a great millstone, and honors your brothers to be pushed in this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And above I body, I come in here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahbashim, Shabashim, Kodash. And in this particular video, I wanted to go and take a look at a theme that you're going to be seeing certainly throughout the course of this year. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse because the scripture says so. And I'm going to get a scripture in a second. But you had a situation where a whole bunch of dollars, pounds, yens, whatever the currency may have been, were getting printed over the last 2 years to mitigate people not going to work or whatever. And now you're seeing inflation go through the roof. And as you're going to see within this video, pretty much people out here within the UK, they're facing about an extra grand in cost extra a year. I think it's about £1,000, of which the vast majority of people within the UK, they don't even have a few £100 saved up. I think they did a study. The vast majority of people don't even have a couple of £100 to spare, because a lot of people, they live pretty much paycheck to paycheck. And as the squeeze gets tighter, as we move towards the MLTB and ESOL crash in this economy, we got a situation whereby things are going to get very difficult. So this was posted up by a brother within the camp. He put it in the group chat, and I thought I'll do a quick video on it. So I'll play it and I'll pause it in relevant places, and we can go to the scriptures a little bit later on. Let's go.
And it's changing people's lives.
We either have to eat and be cold or be warm and starve. That's the way it is.
Right, and when you're looking at Britain from outside of Britain, the same thing with America. People think people are rich out there, whatever, but in reality, it's a hell of a lot of poverty out here and difficult decisions like you've just seen there, of which they're showing a potential Edomite there, but for you Jakes as well, like the scripture says, there's going to be a time such as never been seen before, the time of Jacob's trouble. So there's a lot of suffering to be seen pretty soon, man. Hell of a lot of suffering to be seen, and part of that is going to be the decisions people got to make between food and warmth. And right now within within the US, there's a big storm out there. Usually that reaches us a couple of weeks later. We'll see if that comes over here. And another thing when it comes to this energy, as I've mentioned before, you're not going to hear this on the news. The reason why your energy requirements or your energy demands have gone up, or your energy prices have gone up, is because you've been forced to work from home. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, if you're working from home, but you used to work on a factory where you had 300 people getting heated by one building, well, there's a lot of heat retention for those people to be heated. Kids were in school, right? Few pupils per class. Industrial sized boilers, yeah, you might have some inefficiencies, but it's a hell of a lot more efficient than having to heat individual homes up. And that's why you got problems all over the place. But this was all put together by the elite banking families in order for this MLTB system to be put out there, the universal basic income to be put out there. Let's go.
Evidence suggests this is just the start.
The squeeze on household.
That's it. It's just the start. This is just the beginning, man. This is just the beginnings of suffering. Suffering is going to go. You got your cushy job and you work in an office blocking, whatever. All of that's going to go away pretty soon, man. All right. But the vast majority of the people, they don't live that lifestyle. The vast majority of the people are in a position of a paycheck to paycheck, man. And, what's going to be the solution? What's going to be the solution is the MLTB system, right? The model that they keep on pushing out there, the mantra that they keep on pushing out there is you're going to have nothing and you're going to be happy about it. So they're going to take everything away from you. That's what you have to understand from that statement. Because if you got a house, maybe you rent it, maybe you own it. If you got a car, maybe you lease it, maybe you own it. But you've got something at the minute. So in order for them to fulfill that particular statement, well, they're going to have to take it from you. And this is where the impoverishment of the people comes into play. The crashing of the economy, right? The rising in energy prices, right? These 2030 agendas right? Where if they're going to take away particular forms of producing energy, well, that's going to lead on to shortages. Okay, that's going to lead on to shortages and price hikes. All right, and that's how they're going to take everything away from you.
Incomes is going to be the big story of 2022, particularly the first half of it, and it is going to be on a scale of the kind that we do see in some recessions.
And this is what's happening already. High inflation. Consumer prices rose 5.4% in the 12 months to December last year. That's the highest rate in nearly 30 years. Energy and food prices are the main drivers of this, but there are other factors too, like tax rises and changes to benefits. All of this is affecting the cost of living.
Right, because like I said, they printed all that money not too long ago, last year or whatever. They printed all that money. And what, you surprised by the consequences? Well, if you're surprised, then you really don't know the bigger game, the end game. The bigger game is that this whole thing is getting ready to be shut down, man. Esau's getting ready for you to be permanently at home, right? In the home that he creates for you, right? To be permanently latched onto the system through the UBI. This is what Esau's getting ready for you to be a part of, man. All right. This is what Esau's getting ready for you to be a part of. We look at the America and we see from America that they were saying how the 80% of the dollars ever printed, they was printed in the last 2 years. So of course you was gonna have inflation. Same thing out here within the UK. You had a lot of pounds that were printed through the furlough scheme. Now you're worried about what? Your energy prices. Well, what do you think was gonna happen? You printed all that money. Okay? You printed all that money. Now you're going to see the result of that. And it was all by design. It was all by design. Let's get a quick precept. This is going to be within the book of Ecclesiasticus. All right. There's a precept there. 12:4. It says, and the door shall be shut in the streets. We saw that. When the sound of the grinding, and when the sound of the grinding is low, all right, let's read up. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, the grinders shall cease. That means the work, right? The scripture says there's neither going to be any work for the head or tail. And because they are few, and those that look out the window be darkened, and the doors be shut in the streets, and the sound of grinding is low, he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. This is the times that we're living in right now, where that prosperous time, all right, the so-called pinnacle of America and Britain or wherever you may have been, that's done, man. All right, we're getting into some hard times now. So with that, I want to say, all praise unto Yahweh, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and honor you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.